Intro time. Hello, Internet! Welcome to my dad's room, where I do my makeup. For the official week 1 of something completely different, I thought I would do something a little bit, in my opinion, that's fun. I found this tag on YouTube last year and kind of always wanted to do it, but didn't have a YouTube channel. Also thought, why would anybody care how I put on my super shitty makeup in the mornings? But I kind of thought, since I'm just doing stuff for me and I'm doing stuff that I think is fun, that if I wanted to do it, I was just gonna do it. So I did. And so it's basically just, I'm gonna put on my makeup, the makeup I wear in every single video ever, talk about some of my favorite books. A lot of them I've said before, and some of them I haven't. So let's dive into the world of my vast makeup collection. My hair back. The first one is primer, and I don't really wear primer, so I have a little bit extra moisturizer on to serve as primer. But for primer, it is a book that left a lasting impression, and this is a really difficult one for me because if it didn't make a lasting impression, I wouldn't remember it. You could ask me about a book I read last year, and if it didn't like blow my mind or if I didn't viscerally hate it, I probably would be like, yeah, I read that. Things happened. For this one, I am gonna choose my all-time favorite book, the book that still gets to me every single time I read it or watch the film. It's The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I love it so much, and I think it's such a lovely, lovely book. I'd use it for every category if I could. I can't, and in some cases it's not even relevant. So the next one is Foundation, and picking a book that's your favorite first book in a series. So for Foundation, I'm using this one from Urban Decay. So my favorite first book in a series is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I'm sorry, my mirror is above my camera, so. And I chose this one because of the fact that I was literally hooked from the first page of the prologue. Not necessarily my favorite in the series. It's still, I think, a really fun book, and it really sets the tone, it really sets the atmosphere. I think it's just a perfect opening to that series. My frizz is like a halo, and I don't have any smoothing serum. This is an issue. The next is concealer. Fun fact, I hate my concealer. It's this one. I want to turn this into liquid concealer and see if that helps once my serum is locked away in the loft. I'm gonna try mixing this with moisturizer and see if that works instead. It worked. So if I could pick a character I wish would disappear, I would definitely choose a character called Jake from the book One of Us is Lying. He starts the book off essentially being the world's most controlling boyfriend, and I really hate that. It was so uncomfortable to read, where a character literally goes upstairs and changes her clothes because her boyfriend says, "Is that really what you're gonna wear today?" And it was just like the most cringeworthy thing I think I've ever read. And it's supposed to be, but I just want him to go away. I hate characters like that. I just didn't want anything like that in a book I was reading. The moisturizer kind of worked. Oh my god. That's a really exciting development until I can get that serum down from the loft. Okay, powder. List your favorite lost book in a series. So I don't use powder because I have super dry skin and it just cakes everywhere. So instead, I'm using a setting spray, which you're technically supposed to do after your makeup is done, but I don't know why. Setting spray, and I do this a little bit, dry it out so I can do the rest of my makeup. Funny how that works. My favorite lost book in a series would be hands down Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is why I couldn't choose it for my favorite first book in the series, even though it probably is. Deathly Hallows just left such an impression on me as a lost book in the series. I've reread From Prince's Tale to the end probably 50 or so times. It's my favorite thing to go back and reread. Just how everything, the culmination of years and years of like story build up, character development just comes to a head in these like 5 chapters, and it's the most amazing thing. I read it in 4 days, which since I was 11 and we were on holiday was like real feat. There is no competition. Abras. So a book I think that everyone should read. My official answer is 100% The Perks of Being a Wallflower, but I can't use that one because I already did. Boo. I just decided to go with Alice in Wonderland. Whenever I need a dose of like childhood whimsy or just like pure happiness, I always reach for that. It's kind of just one of those things where I think everyone should read this book because it's nice and it's fluffy and there's no real work involved. You can read it in an hour and it's really good for when you're having a really bad day, and I think everyone needs a really good bad day book, so I'm giving you mine. Oh, I'm using this Rimmel eyebrow pencil, by the way. I got the wrong color, trying to make it work with a color that's way too light for my hair. Can't really tell on camera, but in person it's really noticeable, which is why I'm taking the nub of my old one. There's a child who's very unhappy outside. So the next one is eyeshadow. Book with my favorite colors on the cover. For a book with my favorite colors on the cover, I don't have a favorite color. I tend to gravitate towards it, but I don't have a favorite. So the book I'm choosing has a rainbow on the cover. I've talked about it before, and that one is I'll Give You the Sun by Jenny Nelson. Also a book I think everyone should read, just generally. Such a pretty book. I think it's just so underrated. But only the US cover is pretty like that. The UK cover is super orange. It looks like a sun, but still. I'm just doing my everyday. Do you ever have that problem when you're doing eye makeup that one always looks better than the other one? It's so annoying. Oh, while I'm doing this, I don't wear eyeliner, so I figure while I'm doing this, I'll do the eyeliner. The eyeliner is pick a dark and mysterious book. So my favorite dark and mysterious book isn't like a favorite book, but it was the first book that I ever read that had a real sort of atmosphere to it, The Da Vinci Code, because I think it was just so weird. I would open the book and like feel the story like engulf me, and it's a really fun, entertaining book just to read. I mean, yes, you have to ignore like all the blatant historical inaccuracies. I've really not had a reading experience like that since. Not necessarily dark and mysterious, but it made me feel dark and mysterious, and I really like that. Mascara. Pick a long book. I can't use Harry Potter again because I already did. The longest book I've ever read is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It just is. But I'm currently reading A Song of Ice and Fire, and eventually those books will win out. I'm using collectively A Song of Ice and Fire books for my long book, because they're long books. Sometimes I pretend that my mascara covers up where I messed up my eyeshadow, but it doesn't. Bottom lashes exist. Ooh, the next two are blush and highlighter, which I don't wear on a regular basis. Cool. All my highlighter is packed away. I don't wear blush because my skin's super red. I'm just going to put a little bit of bronzer on and call it blush and highlighter. For blush, we need a book that had a cringeworthy romance. All romance is cringeworthy for me to read. I have some real problems when we get to sex scenes, but as far as romances are concerned, there's only one option, and that would be Edward and Bella from Twilight. It's just so horrendously horrible. I remember even reading this at like 14 and still thinking Edward and Bella were the worst. That wasn't really even a Team Edward, Team Jacob thing, I just hated him. They're the most cringeworthy romance. If you need anybody to explain why, you are so lucky. Okay, so for highlighter is a book that brightens your day. I've already chosen both of my two books that always brighten my day, which were Alice in Wonderland and I'll Give You the Sun. Good job, me. So instead, I'm gonna choose the book that I used to go to as a kid to help me fall asleep when I was scared, and that was Captain Underpants and the Invasion of the Incredibly Naughty Cafeteria Ladies from Outer Space and the Subsequent Assaults of the Equally Evil Lunchroom Zombie Nerd. I read probably The Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants like way more than that one, but that one has a joke that my family still uses today. Always the one that I would read before bed to try and help me go to sleep if I was scared or upset or something. That would be a book that always brightens my day because it also has that nostalgia factor and it's just really silly and great. So the last thing is your favorite book, Kiss, which of course for lipstick, which I also don't wear on a regular basis, so I'm just putting on some lip balm. Done. So for my favorite book, Kiss, I'm going to choose Clary and Jace from City of Glass, and only City of Glass. It's from basically when Jace decided that he just wanted to be next to her till the end of the book. It was one of the only romantic sequences that I was ever into, and the only times that I thought it was really sweet and didn't cringe. Because even if I think a romance is sweet, I still cringe at the kiss. I didn't cringe at that kiss, so I have to point it out as my favorite book kiss. So that was the makeup book tag, which just shows how you get this flawless look on a daily basis. Which is really just, I messed up my eyeshadow so many times, but I have hair, so let's hope no one noticed. So a lot of those books I've talked about before, but it's always fun to kind of just be a little bit chatty, and I just thought it would be something different, a little experimental, and lazy, so I can knock a video out and do my makeup at the same time. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked this video or you want to see more of me, please hit that subscribe button. As usual, I've linked all of my social medias in the description box below, and I post new videos on Fridays. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next week.